What's going on, friends? Logan Myerz here for Cinephellas.com. Tonight I'm going to be talking about one of my most anticipated films of the year, Joker. Awful. So the film's directed by Todd Phillips, starring Joaquin Phoenix playing the role of Arthur Fleck. He's a sign spinner, like all the deals over here, and he dresses up as a clown. He gets his ass kicked a few times, and it just seems like society and people around him don't like Arthur Fleck. And, he gets beat down a lot. He works with other clowns. This is Gotham City. Obviously, it looks like New York. But this is like 1970s Gotham City. So this film looks a lot like a Scorsese flick back in the day, such as, Taxi Driver, just the way that it's filmed cinematography-wise. The overall look and feel and the grittiness and rawness of this film. Arthur Fleck is a disturbed man. He has a lot of issues. He's like talking to a shrink, and he has like this journal he writes into. He's on a ton of medication just to get through the day, and he just wants to be happy. He just wants to feel some sort of happiness in his life, and he doesn't feel any of this. That's why he's talking to this person on this medication. And also being in Gotham City, full of corruption and violence, and people just doing whatever the fuck they want. You don't see a lot of police activity going on in this film up until the end. So Arthur lives with his mother, Penny Fleck, played by Frances Conroy. She's a really fantastic actress. She was on American Horror Story and 6 Feet Under. And we find out in the film that, Penny used to work for the Wayne family, Bruce Wayne's family. So in this film, you see through the eyes of Arthur Fleck everything that he sees around him in Gotham City, him walking home, him going to work, or him going out at night, to be the stand-up comedian. You see the world through his eyes, and you can see the torture and pain that he's going through, and you can see how his mental state is getting worse and worse as the days go on. With Arthur looking for his calling in life, he tries stand-up comedy, and it's really funny in this film how he goes about telling jokes. It's very awkward, and it's funny how Arthur goes about telling jokes, or lack thereof. They're just really bad. He just ends up laughing uncontrollably throughout the film, and he's like, like even when it's not a funny part. With Arthur doing stand-up comedy and basically butchering it, there's like a video that surfaced and got on the Murray Franklin show. And Murray Franklin is like the late night talk show host played by Robert De Niro, which I thought was very interesting because this movie is much like the king of comedy and Taxi Driver. Robert De Niro playing Murray Franklin, this late night talk show host. He did a really great job. I was surprised how well he played this character. But you can see, with these two characters from Taxi Driver and King of Comedy, kind of incorporated that and really brought some good acting chops. I haven't seen De Niro in a really great performance in a while up until we see The Irishman. But I thought he did a great job in this. And what happens to his character at the end is very surprising. And Arthur Fleck is on the Murray Franklin show and doing these jokes, and it just falls flat. It doesn't work, and he kind of bombs it again. You can see what Arthur's mental state is at that point, because he just starts freaking out, and it's really fantastic. One of my favorite shots and scenes of the film. So the Joker is definitely a character study. It's a social commentary of what's going on with mental health, with violence, with shootings. And this film hits a little too close to home with all the violence and shootings going on in the world today. A lot of things put out about this film saying it's very violent. It's pretty funny because we went into the theaters and there were signs up saying no kids are allowed in this film. And honestly, I think the movie was pretty violent, but not as violent as like superhero movies. There's definitely some great and brutal scenes in this film. But I don't think it was as violent as everyone made it out to be. But leading up until the end of the film, Joaquin Phoenix really sells this character of Arthur Fleck. I mean, just from the beginning of him being beat down over and over again and just being fucked over by society, everything he's come across, and you can see that he finally found what he was meant to be. You can tell that, Joaquin did his research on this character, mental health, and how you go to like these dark places that, Heath Ledger went to in The Dark Knight. And I really thought this performance was one of the best of the year for sure. It's a lot different than other Joker, portrayals, Jack Nicholson, Heath Ledger. I don't want to spoil too much, but there's definitely some characters that we've seen before in other Batman films that show up, and one particular scene I was hoping they wouldn't do, but they did in this film. So overall, I had a great time at Joker. This is Joaquin Phoenix's film. This is definitely one of my favorite films of the year for sure. I think it takes number 2 next to Avengers Endgame. And this is definitely one of the most disturbing and unsettling movies I've seen in a long time. It's definitely a psychological film. It's a slow burn, if you guys are looking for a lot of action. There's not a lot of action. There's only a few scenes that are or, you know, a little bit of action, but not like a Batman film or superhero movie. And all around, just a well-rounded, fantastic film. I think the story, the script, cinematography, the editing, the music is top-notch in this film. A soundtrack that you guys should definitely check out if you like oldies music. And just the acting was top-notch and probably one of the best aspects of the film. This, again, is one of the best performances of the year. I don't necessarily think this movie is going to win an Oscar, but I think Joaquin Phoenix is definitely a contender for best performance of the year when it comes Oscar season. So this is definitely a movie you don't want to miss. Go support this film. This is a standalone Joker film that we have not seen before. It doesn't have the heavy-handed action and over-the-top violence as other superhero movies. It is violent. It gets pretty brutal in scenes, but this is a psychological slow burn. This is a film where a man starts off trying to get through life, and you see his downward spiral and becoming this madman known as the Joker. So I'm going to give Joker a 4.5 out of 5 Joaquin Phoenix hair pieces. So what did you guys think of Joker? What did you like about it? What didn't you like about it? What did you guys think of the ending? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to hit subscribe. This is Logan Myerz signing out from Gotham City. Until the next movie review for 31 Days of Horror. Cheers!